I did my best to really take only the 5 stars, the 4.5, but at the end it was the result of, yes, I loved it, or it was something like, I can't wait to finish, or I can't wait to have another one. That kind of feeling was what I was looking for to establish what is my favorite, what is, or which ones, or the ones that I loved in 2018. I separate in different categories. 1 or 2, or maybe 3 can be as well in one or the other. So I'm gonna start with everything historical in the past, and it happens that they are both, because this is gonna be 2 books, and they are all middle grades. The Boundless by Kenneth Opel. Such an excitement, a joyful ride inside the Boundless, which is a train, an imaginary fictional train, traveling from Halifax to Vancouver in Canada. And a young William, if I remember well, is gonna have a few different kind of adventures inside that Boundless, but the main one will be that it will witness something specific that I really can't tell pretty much quickly after the departure of the train, and what he witnessed will put his life in danger. Some bad guys, it's always the case, they're gonna be after him, so he will have to hide himself inside the train, but in the different classes of the train. This is the kind of book that if you are, well, definitely sure that you have a life outside reading a book, you don't want to wait. You kind of hurry to come back to pick up and to keep reading. So fast-paced, loved it, loved it. My second love in historical past was the Black Thorn Key by Kevin Sands. First installment in the trilogy, I think so. And we are in London 1665, if I remember correctly, following, hold on, Christopher. And so, since I said middle grade, so it's a young character, orphan, and he's an apprentice with an apothecary. I always have trouble saying that word. And so, surrounding a mystery, few other colleagues, they are gruesomely killed, murdered, and obviously the young Christopher, he is worried, more for his master than for himself, but anyway, so you kind of understand, and it's not revealing anything because it happened pretty much at the beginning, that he's gonna lose his master, and some, once again, bad guys are gonna be after him and after the shop, searching for something. So intricate and interesting, fascinating. You are trying to, well, not you, but Christopher, to resolve some intricate codes and to decrypt them. And this is so fascinating, fast-paced. You don't waste a minute. Don't have any boredom. Next genre will be the mystery one. So like I said, I only keep the best of the best for me, or la crème de la crème. And it will be Limelight, first installment in the Limelight series by Emily Organ. It's in London, I don't remember exactly the year, but it's Victorian time. We have the death of a famous actress who has been found shot dead in a cemetery, and it turned out that this actress has been already found dead 5 years ago with a sinking ship onto the Thames. So I have to stop saying a young reporter who was friend with the actress, has been requested by Scotland Yard to help the best she can, because since she was friend, she has, or she can have some insights about who she was, her surroundings, friends, colleague, whatever. And so you are following this investigation, and at the same time you have some idea, perspective of sadly how life was so harsh and difficult for a woman, especially if she wanted to have a career, and obviously it was completely a world of men at that time. So, but so good, so fascinating. You have the good mystery with who did it and obviously the why. Since we are in the mystery, we are jumping in the cozy mystery. And my two favorite ones, the first was Better Off Wed by Laura Durham. This is the mother of the bride who has been found dead at the bottom of the stairs the day of her daughter's wedding. And first suspicions surrounding the caterer, which is a close and best friend and work with the wedding planner. So the wedding planner with the caterer and her assistant, the three of them will kind of do some investigation, try to find out what's going on first, because it's not helping the business with the suspicion, and because obviously this is a personal matter. It happened to her wedding planner. And there's a lot of humor, and it's light, it's fluffy. I really did enjoy. Another book in the cozy mystery will be The Girl with 9 Lives by E. Earl. First in a trilogy, if I remember correctly. We have a young woman. This time I can say it was around 25 or maybe under 30, and this is still young. Sorry, yes it is. She tried her best with a lot of hope and sadly desperation at the same time to be able to get a permanent contract at teaching in school. So she do her best at filling her time to make money, to make a living. She is sad, depressed. It's obviously not easy. And one day a cat will come into her life, and he's looking exactly as the cat she had when she was young. But the cat was supposed to be missing or dead, since it's really, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 years afterwards. And you're gonna say, that's strange. Well, wait, when I'm gonna say that she can talk to the cat and he can answer back. Mystery will happen at school where she is working, and it will be sort of an investigation from her and the help of the cat. And it was light, again, fluffy, and at the same time it was serious, because of her desperation at making a living, at finding a job, at being happy. This is obviously some serious and real topics. So depending on where yourself emotionally you can be, it's gonna talk to you more or less. Depending on how much do you love cats, you're gonna like it or less. Next genre, the fantasy one, with the first book, Between the Lines by Jodi Picoult and Samantha Van Leer. Somehow a new idea, and at the same time we already saw that sometimes, but doesn't change or take anything away that Delilah, I think she's a teenager. She is obsessed with fairy tale books. Kids, I should say, fairy tale books. So she's reading it all the time. She has it in her backpack, on her bedside table. Obsessed. Not necessarily for the story itself, but more for the Prince Charming Oliver. And she kind of fell in love with him. And you can see, and this is where the different angle is started to get way more interesting, you follow Prince Charming inside the book. When she can realize that she can get a connection with what's inside, things are gonna start to get extremely excited. This is everything that I can tell, and I'm afraid I've already said slightly too much, but anyway. So it's really the angle and the idea of, it's true that you never necessarily gonna think about what's inside the, or anyway, because I don't want to say it. The other fantasy will be the Zodiac series by Romana Russell. This is the one that I'm showing you, only the first one, Zodiac. I read already the second, The Wandering Star. We are somewhere in space. In the Zodiac constellation, I think. Anyway, you have different planets. Roth. I don't know what she was. I don't remember for what she was training off. She's a young Cancer. Because in that constellation you have all the different signs representing an ensemble of planets and else, and something terrible will happen at the beginning that I'm not going to tell. You have a lot of death, and it's changing life for many people, including Roth. She has a natural talent at reading stars. Few other peoples are learning to do it with some tools. She has to learn too, but she is best naturally at reading stars, so knowing what's going to happen. Because of what happened with that event, she's gonna try to unify the galaxy, the Zodiac galaxy, with the different planets inside, because they are working and exchanging and communicating with each other, but they don't necessarily appreciate each other, like each other, and obviously trust each other. There is a big threat, and possibly her 13th signs, and she has the feeling, that's kind of the true feeling, that it's really going to get bad, so for everyone. She's trying to unify everyone to fight against that threat, but it's not going to be an easy one. This is the first one. The second is obviously following what is happening after the first one. So the second is more a transition book. It is fantasy, obviously, for the world, how it's created and how it's working, but it is definitely a sci-fi as well. I told you you're going to have few books who can touch different genres at the same time. Even if you have some weaknesses inside, it doesn't change the fact that this is well done, well thought, well imagined, and really worth going for it. Another historical one, but this is a short one, Glitter and Gold by Sherry D. Ficklin. You have 3 different stories inside, and they are part of the Canary Club book. Sets at the Prohibition time, I think in New York, following first, well, we follow 2 women and a young man. They have more or less connection with one or the other, but it's really throughout the stories when you're reading that you see what the connection are. And I really fell in love with those characters, where, well, more the women than necessarily the young man, but because they are really out of that time, not thinking the way that they should for that time, especially, like I said, the women, and they have personal challenges, and because living of men and living in the world of mob, with prohibition for alcohols and else, the nightclubs, obviously it is a different vibe, and It was so good, the writing was so well done, I really did enjoy that. Finally, the last genre is sci-fi, and I have to start with The Last Day on Mars by Kevin Emerson. I think this is the first in a trilogy. The sun has swallowed a lot of planets, including Earth, so Mars is the next in line. Everyone has already fled Mars, which became throughout the years and the decades temporary planets because they knew that it's going to happen. So it was going on to Mars to survive and to build starships in order to completely flee this galaxy, this star system. And that's what is happening. Pretty much everyone has already fled for the next destination. We are following two young characters because they are, you can put that in the middle grade, but they are having so higher stake adventures that you really forget how old they are. And their parents are scientists working onto the terraforming project for the future next planet where they're gonna all inhabit it. Less than 24 hours, everything happened. So good. The pace is so... And we are on the planet, and then we are going into space, and you feel and you start to discover that you have in the background some secrets. I loved it so much. Finally, the last one, and I think the ones who are following me already know how much I liked it. This is gonna be the Colony series by Gerald M. Kilby. Yes, I think this is the first time that I said it right. Colony 1 Mars, 3 years after the first man mission colonizing mission onto Mars with 50 people to make that happen. A huge sandstorm happened. Everyone, well, Mars and Earth, the communications are shut down. Nothing to hear, to report anymore. So 3 years afterwards, NASA is sending a small team to go onto Mars and to see what's going on, if people there are still alive or what happened. Maybe in 2 or 3 days, not sure, slightly less, that the story happens so fast paced. When they are arriving onto Mars, because that's when the story really begins, the team is going into Colony 1 Mars, which is the first landing site. And they try to find out what's going on, but pretty much quickly after the arrival, the commander, captain, I always forget exactly the title, he seems to be extremely voracious at killing everyone from the team. So apparently a very mysterious infection got him, and so everyone tried to stay alive. Not easy in a planet like this. And we are following the Dr. Jan Malbec, who is trying to find out the kind of virus, because she's the doctor. I said it? I don't remember. She's trying to find out the kind of virus it is, infection, and how to, well, treat him, or maybe more how to stay alive. This is for Colony 1 Mars. Colony 2 Mars, few years, I think it's 3 years after the end of the event of the first book. Well, there is still a mystery about Mars and about the first group of colonials, if you want to put it that way. So Jan Malbec is going on to the second site, Colony 2. And she needs to find out some answers because the mystery is getting deeper and darker. And it happened that Earth is gonna start to become a threat for Mars and for her, which is maybe surprising, maybe not that much. So a lot of stuff is happened, and it's getting crazier, but in a good way, but crazier. And so much adventure, and oh, it was so good, and I can't wait to keep going. This is, like I said, la crème de la crème from what I read in 2018. There are few more, but just not as much excitement that I felt when I read them. Thank you very much for watching this video. To give some thumbs ups, it's gonna help the channel to keep growing. And don't miss the next future videos. Some exciting stuff is coming in. Until the next time, have some favorites reading or discover some readings. Make your own favorite.